Cancer.
Hello Cancer, this is your February forecast for 2014. So how has it been working out for you with this Venus retrograde that we've been having here throughout January? Actually it went retrograde December 21st, right before the holidays here, and throughout all of January went direct again here January 31st. So you will be seeing how now you've had time to reassess your emotional values, looking back over what and who it is you value, what is worth to carry on forward, what is worth just shutting the door to. And you're having a lot of cosmic help too here, as you may know, and which you might already have been feeling. And this is Mars. Mars being in the sign of Libra. It's the sign of the scales. For you, you got that in your 4th house for home, family values, traditions, and so forth. And Venus here been retrograding in your 7th house for your committed relationship, your marriage, your partner. And so that retrograde has been making you look at what is really worth, what needs to be tweaked and whatnot. And for so many Cancerians, you're so nurturing just by nature and by the pure essence of who you are. Mars is trying to help you look at things now. Some of you might have already felt what Mars is doing. It's going to be here until summer. This is a long transit of Mars. And remember, Mars is your direct action. It is where you're heading. It's your goals, ambitions, physical drive, and so forth. Being in the sign of Libra, think about the scales, and it's giving you these 7-8 months here. Normally it only passes through really quick, 6 weeks. But when it's this long in a sign, that's the universe giving you a gift to really hone in on a new skill, a new talent, grow new antennas so that you can catch things in a different way. And so it being in this area of the home, Venus has been retrograding here in the 7th house of your marriage or committed relationship. And right now, top of the month here with Venus touching with Pluto, they're doing the dance. That's a lot of intensity. So you will see whatever takes place in shape here, very first couple of days there in February, well, that's going to bring a powerhouse of emotions up and out for good. Actually, it's really like carving a new path in this relationship. You might be seeing yourself in a fully new light. That's what Pluto does once it's finalized or ended something. Now, what is ending? You might want to look back to December, January here, where some of you have felt the test of this Mars, back to the scales again. So what do we women do when things don't really work too well? We end up giving more. We try to fix it, right? And we just give in, nurture more, give more. What happens to the scales is that the scale starts lopsiding, right? And the more you give here, thinking that you're trying to fix, to balance up things, it's like, no. If you know in the heart of hearts that you already have nurtured so much, given so much, understood so much, taken a lot, forgiven a lot, and really trying to fix, don't keep adding into that scale, because that is what is going to trip you up. Then we have a ticking time bomb, because that scale may just flop over. Actually, what Mars is trying to do here, giving you the consciousness here in the home, is to know when to step back. Do what you need to do where you know there's a healthy balance of your energy being put forward. That's all you need to do. Then step back, and it's time for the partner to revive and dedicate more energy. And this is what this Venus-Pluto is trying to renew. So some of you will see the magic of this taking place here, where your partner will see that when you shift your consciousness, shift your actions, well, it will automatically shift his or her actions as well. We're all living magnets, right? And so the more you do, your magnet is pushing this person like ahead. They don't need to do anything. They're along for the free ride. But when you shift, you turn that magnet around, go this direction, balancing things back up, right? You turn that magnet around, it will automatically flip their magnet, and then we have a healthier balance. This is the sacred message, I'd like to say, for most of you Cancerians, because it's between the home and it is the partnership. Where is it at? What are you doing? What is he or she doing, right? So you've got ample time, you've got all the way to June, July, to actually not just balance it up, but reprogram this biocomputer so that you can have healthier, not just months, but years and years to come. It's actually getting this message in right now. You will see that you will be totally, totally pleased with it. And for those among you that are needing to complete something fully and finally, well, since Mars is moving so slowly here, it will have the cosmic help from Uranus and Pluto. They won't always be in the exact degrees of an opposition and square, but Mars will be retrograding too, so you will have a little bit of time later on. We saw some of this taking place there right at the top of the year, New Year, where some of you did split away, and I've had a lot of conversations with many of you who did that, and today can say, I feel so liberated, I feel free. You know, it's like something now has given. And that's the joy of letting go of those things that don't work. But for those of you still on a path where the intention from the universe and you both as partners committed and still have karma to complete, you will still be heading down this road within your marriage, and it's not going to be threatened at all, but it is going to be tweaked so that it can improve and really set and liberate some of these tasks that you might have been feeling that you've been carrying on your own, okay? So this Venus in Capricorn, it's all about how you ground yourself. Capricorn, that's your 7th house, ruled by Saturn. There's a stick-to-itness here of what you feel that this foundation should be. Pluto now is helping to transform it from the old into the new. You will feel this surge of energy just at the very last couple of days here of January. But as we move in February 1st, the planet Venus now is aligned with Pluto, and it's going to be transiting, moving forward now in this area. So all of the rest here of February, you will start seeing, feeling, intuiting the fruits of your labor, what it has done for you here in December and January. So it's really exciting. You have a lot to look forward to. Yes, you've been through a trial and back, and I did put up a video for you Cancerians, for those of you who haven't listened to it or watched it yet, about the challenges of Cancerians here at this time and in the years to come as Uranus is transiting your sign. Because yes, I was given the question, and thank you for it. It's like, why are all the good news for us Cancerians when everything is just so difficult? Well, we always want to look to the positive each and every month, because we need to have something to focus on, to rise ourselves up and above so we can move forward. That doesn't mean that the underlying challenge isn't there for many of you. And the first third of you have already now processed this with Uranus. It's the middle part of all Cancerians now that are going to be tested, and then we've got the rest of you. But if you haven't listened to it, just go to the channel there on Pleiades Stars, and you will find it right there, or you'll find it in my playlists on the recently uploaded. It can help give you a little bit deeper insight to watch that tube, okay, to really know what we're up against here underlying in this energetic exchange from Uranus, which is causing a little bit of an upheaval there. But upheaval isn't bad, it's just change, and some things throughout life do need to change. So that's where you're going to get that information. But let's take a look at here what we got. It's kind of a little bit slow, not too much happening in this first week of February, which is good. I think, you know, there's been more than enough just throughout December, January here. So February 11th, This is the first real thing that's going to kick into action here. We had no new moon, right? But the Sun and Saturn is going to have some talks. So something important here for you on this day. And for you, it's between the 8th house, so money, investments perhaps as well, and children. So there could be that one or two of them are needing something extra. Maybe you're going to pay out something. But the 5th house is also about self-expression and creativity, so you might be looking at your finances and maybe wanting to put something towards it, perhaps. Could be that one or more of you might want to take on some classes, creative classes, because that's what the 5th house is. And in that case here, Mercury will be wanting to look into how you can expand this area as well. Then we have, on the 11th, we have Mercury changing signs. It's moving back into Aquarius, okay? It's starting out here 1 degree in Pisces, where it's moving forward. But from the 6th of February, Mercury is going to go retrograde. It's going to go back out of your 9th house, back into this investment house, or also the house of intimacy, sexuality, looking over perhaps commissions and royalties and agreements that you have with your significant other regarding money. And that's where it's going to be for 3 weeks. So that's good. You want to look over things. That's what Mercury helps us do. As long as you don't sign any agreements, don't sign any papers, you can talk about it all you want and try to find a good, you know, balanced middle way. Remember, you got that Mars on the scales too, right? And then wait for any kind of signatures until March. Anytime after March is good. After March 20th is even better, when Mercury moves out of its shadow. Then we have here 15th. Well, don't skip Valentine's Day. 15th is a great day. That's what I wanted to say, to take action, since we're talking about action, to move forward. Anything on the 15th. You are just on fire. Tons of great energy for you. But I think a lot of that can have to do with what's taking place on the 14th here, which is Valentine's Day for you. This is when we have the full moon this month, and it happens to be on Valentine's Day. Full moon for you here, Cancerian, it's going to be in your 2nd house for money, for income. So you might just see that you might land a big fat check here on this day. Or it could be something else that you might land here, which now is tying into your own sense of self and self-value and so forth, which the 2nd house is about. And in that case, it's going to be really nice because this full moon is in Leo. And you know how Leos are. They love great quality. They want something to show for it, something that can put your sense of self-worth right up there on the scale. So great Valentine's Day this year. And action coming in and feeling good about it here on the 15th with the Sun and Mars. Any good talks followed up on 16th? That is, I see here, a feeling of having it together, just being crystal clear. Your mind is open up like a full funnel, and you're going to express yourself very clearly on this day. And then we have the Sun moving into Pisces here on the 18th. So that's taking you out of this 8th house of intimacy and money and joint ventures and joint accounts and so forth. So it's taking you out of that area and bringing you in now to this higher thought of the 9th house, which is all spiritual. It's how you think about things in the big scope. It has to do with foreign people, places, and countries, and languages as well. And this is where I'm thinking perhaps some of you might be thinking about wanting to sign up for some creative classes here this month at some point. It's going to be with you for a month, so no haste. You will have your chance. But this spring looks like you can really open up doors to really refine some of your skills and talents there artistically. Okay, this is the artistic side of you coming out here, Cancer, and you're going to love it for sure, especially also because we have the Sun touching upon Neptune on the 23rd. It's in the house of spirituality. Maybe some of you are going to start some meditation or yoga classes or something spiritual. And then the others may be touching upon perhaps a class that has to do with painting, sculpting, dancing, something where you can come up and out and spread this inner joy of spirit. And it's so liberating and free that you will definitely not regret it if you do. And then also an upside is that it gives you a little time for yourself, a little me time. That is great. Saturn's trying to, give you some more of that me time so that you won't just be rushed on the flow of life here, taking care of everybody else without developing your own needs. So this is the blessing of having Saturn here where it is for you, and taking a little time, because we don't change patterns overnight. We don't change patterns over a week or two. You know, Saturn's in this area for 2.5 years, mind you. So little by little, you'll start seeing how you're going to start transforming and giving yourself a little bit more space than you've done for years and years. We also have Jupiter in your first house doing its thing. It's retrograde, and it's having you reassess what you started here last summer, where you felt that things were accelerating, it was moving forward, you were expanding this room of your inner self. Right now it's more like thinking, okay, how far have I come? What did I achieve so far? What do I want to bring with it for me? You know, and what wasn't really necessary, sort of tweaking. You're weeding a little bit here. But this Jupiter is going to remain retrograde here for February, but also March. It's going to move forward April 8th. We're going to get back to that over the next couple of months and see what it's doing for you here in this area. So yes, what else do we have here? We didn't have a new moon, so no intentions here this month. Next month we're going to have 2 new moons plus a full moon, and that's the second time this year that we're going to have a double new moon month. We had that in January as well. What's happening when we get a month with 2 new moons like this, you know, in a row, more or less, what it's doing, it's shifting, so that instead of now for a long time we've been having new moons earlier in the month, full moons at the end of the month. It's shifting like this throughout the calendar. So we're going to start out having a full moon for the rest of the year, starting off, and then new moons at the end of the month. So you know how we always plant our intentions for what's coming later in the month? Now it's going to be here from next month onwards. More so what we plant as an intention in one month, we're going to be reaping it in the following month, not later in the month. So each and every month now for the rest of 2014, after this, we'll start off with a full moon first, where we're going to be receiving and reaping those good things. And then we're going to plant intentions later on in the month. So this is pretty much it here, Cancer. And listen to your moon and rising sign, and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already, just so you can get next month's forecast, which is going to be really exciting for you, just the way the planets now are moving out of these retrogrades, and also to get the insight of what Mars retrograde, which will start retrograding next month, is going to do exactly for you, because that's going to be quite important for you. So I'll see you next month, and as always, it's really nice speaking with you, Cancer. Bye now.